Hello, hello, everybody. We are about to
Yay!
get started with our holiday gift guide. It's gonna be fun.
Yoo-hoo!
I'm gonna pop this off and just like show us off for a second.
It's us. Hi, we're so cute. Look how
I
cute we are.
know. You guys did a knockout job on the TGBE presentations, by the way. I caught a few probably like about 30 minutes in, so I gotta finish the presentations, but I got a glimpse of what you guys created and it was pretty awesome.
It was lovely. Everybody always does such interesting stuff. It's really fun. And it's fun to hear, don't you think? Everybody's so different and everybody's style and energy is different. It's just a really great mix. I love it.
I would say
Love
so.
it.
Always a good time. I always say to Azalea, guess who's on? And then she has to name that person. She, without looking at the TV, I'm like, name it. She goes, that's only one ding dong that I know of. And that's you, Christy. Sorry.
Apparently, many people have told me when I get on to live chat, their cats all come in and start hitting on the screen for some reason.
Really?
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. I like it. It's good.
I do too. It amuses me.
Compliment.
Yeah, your thing today, that thing was so cute. That little creature. It reminded
Wasn't
me.
he cute?
No,
Aw,
it looked like it was about to give a hug too, which
Mhm.
I feel
yeah,
like I'd want
a
to carry.
big, yeah. Just I like little teeny cute creatures that look like they're hugging you. Why not? Right?
I do too.
Right?
That's
You kind of
fine.
took the like scariness out of it too, which you had mentioned the Irish lore about it, but I don't know how dark it got. Like the
Can
actual.
get very dark, but I always choose to decide that it's probably dark to the people who are expecting it to be dark and not so much to those in a different brain set. That's how I want to see the world. So I, encountering pukas, am always imagining them to be chocolate to share, amusing, perhaps a little shenanigans, but nothing scary. That's my version. So
Listen, you
I,
sold me.
a lot of times, some of those are to keep kids from getting up to no good. You know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
then, you know,
There's
sometimes
a lot of that, just
for kids.
that's, danger. And that's one way to keep the danger.
So do we know if
Um,
Marty is part puka?
who do we know is part puka? Is that what you said?
If
Who's
Marty is.
Oh,
oh,
it's Marty is. Oh,
he's not up to much shenanigans.
look at that cute ruff that he's wearing. My goodness, that is
Oh, yeah,
adorable.
uh,
Marty, what have you got going on over there? What is your beautifulness? You look
I love when we
grand.
did like a little.
You look so good.
yeah. He watches me on this bar stool. I got this at an estate. It's so good. Look at this. I can
Oh,
do this.
it's cute. I love it.
That is so great.
It
I
shakes.
like that cat. Look at that
Oh, you
cute
could even
cat.
do a spinny action.
I can
Marty,
take
you are wearing that thing. That is awesome, baby.
it away from me, but that doesn't work because I just twist him back around to me. That's perfect.
He cannot escape
Turn it
you.
away.
Yeah,
Cannot escape you. Oh my goodness. Well, we got a few people popping in already saying hello.
see
So
this?
that's nice.
Where's
Are
this?
y'all seeing, those of you out there, are you seeing this cat and his adorableness? I just want to make sure you're not missing that. Because that's just
Fixated on. I
something.
got this little chocolate. It's a cat chocolate. Watch what he's gonna do. He's ready.
Intently staring.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Oh, give me that chocolate, woman.
Don't-
Wow. That is fabulous.
It was like 2 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I have one of those too. Give me that. Give me that.
You have a human chocolate.
You know,
Perfect.
good. That looked good, Christy.
I
Whoever
do have a
chocolate
bevy,
you
so
get there.
I'm gonna pounce for that, you know. And
Mhm.
this is a little like pineapple looking weird.
Oh, how cute is that?
My
Is
friend
that like
gave
a
me.
vintage thing that you found?
No, well, my friend was moving out and he happened to have it in his cupboard. He's like, I was just gonna donate it unless you want it. And I was like, at first I said no. And then I looked at it again. I was like, why not?
Mhm.
I love that. I love that, Nile. That is just very cool. Yeah. I like that. You can always tell if the glass is right side up or not easily.
You can, yeah. The pineapple part is at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. But Thank you guys for joining in. Hosting these sorts of things is always fun. Hopefully it's informative for you guys that are out there wanting some extra content, inspiration, or ideas of whatever the TGB presenters come up with. And I am so thankful that I get to pick Cynthia and Christy's brain for diving deep into these gift giving sorts of reasons and why we do it and what we want to do with it. And maybe even just share some of the stuff that we have in our stores that might inspire some gift giving and spreading kindness out there. So I sort of put together some bullet point notes for like a little roundtable discussion. We absolutely want you guys to participate. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep this little comment box at the side so we can see what comments are coming up. And then I'm going to rely on Christy and or Cynthia. If anything comes up question-wise that I miss or don't address, just stop everything.
Everything.
Stop everything that we're doing, and we're going to try and answer it the best we can.
Well, for whatever it's worth, I'm looking at the comments that are coming up on the Great Beads site, and I feel like those are the ones that are coming up on StreamYard.
Perfect.
Which are two different sets. So I'll keep my eye on this one because I can't read that one very well. So maybe Cynthia sees those better. Yeah. But everybody's checking in and saying hello. They're all commenting on your fabulous cat attire.
Oh,
So that's where we're at so far.
It's top notch. So, okay. Well, let's talk about our first thing as we're sort of kind of working through this. So I'm going to try and not squish us. So give me just a minute to figure out this layout. But
better than Ozempic.
Oh.
So
that
lost so much.
Oh my gosh. This is already going to be a fantastic show. I can feel it.
It is. Yeah.
The first thing I want to kind of discuss is the whole like gift giving reason, and this layout's going to bother me, so I'm going to fix it real quick, is the idea of when we give a gift, we're giving a little piece of ourselves to someone else. And I really believe, or at least want to, that gift giving should probably, like, you've got to be in the right headspace to give a gift or give some kindness to someone else, right? And for me, the best way to do that is to figure out a way to treat and take care of yourself first. And so that comes with a lot of self-love and trying to be in the right headspace to manage, deal with the day, however you want to start the day in the right light, you know? And so
I love that, Nile. I've loved all of your slides because I actually read them. I did my homework, but I really love you starting here because I do think we all go, yeah, I know that. But how much do we know it in the deep core of ourself, right? Because we all have these weird programs running from, our whole lives. And a lot of them say, do all your work first before you have fun. You have to take care of everybody else first. You don't really deserve that, blah, blah, blah. And that really does put a damper on how much you can give to other people. So I love that you went there first, man.
It hits home because if you are not in the right headspace to take on anything, you're not going to accomplish what you set out to do. And if you do, you're just kind of putting out some vibes that maybe might not resonate and make your own experience a lot better. And so to do that, a lot of it is just taking care of yourself. So, one thing that another TikTok influencer has said, it's something about like making sure that your own cup is full before you're able to pour it into somebody else's. And so treating yourself right, doing what fulfills you first, the little things, because fulfillment is kind of, I think, a bigger topic to talk about, but actual just like small things that you can do for yourself. And so I wanted to ask both of you, what do you do to take care of yourselves first before you're able to then give back to everybody else? Because you both have thriving businesses. You both know what it's like to be extended, and to feel and come in with a good attitude is sometimes work. So what do you do?
Oh, I have so much to say about that, but I want to hear Cynthia's first.
Well, Azalea, she's looking at me now. One of the things I like to do, besides making my family go on walks with me and moving, which I didn't do, and I didn't, like I think during the pandemic, before the pandemic, I did not really go outside, leave my studio, really interact with too many friends around town. And being in that isolated space kind of drove home to me how important it is to do stuff, to get out and, like explore the city you live in. Go to a meetup, meet some people.
Yeah.
And as artists, I feel like we're often isolated,
Yeah.
alone for the most part. And there's a lot of jobs like that now where it's a lot of remote. And it's
Yeah.
kind of now when you go out, it kind of feels weird to be around a lot of people. But even if you can meet with folks on a small scale, it's pretty good.
That's really,
Doing something crafty. I feel, to me, I host get-togethers almost every week with some of my crafty friends. We get together and we do things like knitting together, crochet, and you just bring your activity and we sit at this kitchen table and we make something together. And it's very healing and nurturing, I think, to spend that time and kind of, you kind of resonate together. And I always feel kind of delighted and energized when I'm hanging around people that are creative or want to be creative. It's a different kind of sensation, I think.
That community thing, especially such a great topic, being in a social environment, because as business owners and people that work remotely, we are just sort of at home, and the digital world can only really give you so much socialization.
Yeah.
So being out there with real people and also just exchanging ideas, even if it's not in the creative community, it can be very fulfilling, at least just a good way to start your week or just an interaction throughout the week. And remembering that there are other people out there with different problems or different, needs that maybe you can help with.
Yeah. And, I've been introduced to a lot of people, especially recently, going out and I'll go with Azalea and we'll go to our local yarn store, and there are all ages and all different types of people. And it is easy to want to just sort of stay in your own lane, but I find like asking questions and kind of approaching things with an open mind and an open heart, and not automatically assuming I know everything there is to know about that person, and just think, yeah, this is that they have something in their life or in their past that I know nothing about. It's probably pretty interesting. So
it is, and it is interesting. I don't, I don't know how you guys fall in this category. It's come to my attention in recent years that not everybody's an extrovert. This is news to me. But so for me, interacting with people comes really easy, but other people that I know of do not find that as fun, but they need interaction as well. And sometimes it can be daunting. So in talking to some of those other people, they were saying something as, if you are not comfortable or don't have a friendship pile to where you can, let's all get together and create a craft together for the holidays or whatever, is you can do like community adjacent things to kind of tide you over, like going to a coffee shop, going to a craft store, going to a gardening center where there's other humans around that share sort of what you like. You can listen to conversations, but not have to talk, get enough of your fill of being around people, because you're out and about and you can engage if you want to. So I thought that's kind of an interesting in between to get, like you said, get yourself out, get amongst people, and then build up your like, okay, I'm ready for a game night, or I'm ready to have people come over and we can craft together or whatever. So even if you're not the Christie show where everybody, come on, let's talk for hours, you can do these other little side things that can give you that same sort of self-care on that more gentle way, if that's a thing, which apparently it is for people. So I am learning about these things, other people with different personalities. Who knew?
And then in between, I guess there's chocolate for you.
Oh, that's what I love, because then I can just split around. They always have snacks, and samples of things. So I like that a lot.
No, I think these are great tips. So I think identifying what you can do for yourself first, and then having that mindset ready to do that next step is going to be key.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what am I doing? Let's see. I had this out of order, but I think this one was my next slide.
I believe in you, Nile. I believe in
I
you.
can do this. What were my talking points? The art of meaningful giving. Every handmade gift carries your story. Oh, so this was more about like when you do put together a gift, what is that point of finding the meaning for doing it? And so you're in the right headspace, you've done something for yourself, and you are so thrilled about something that you've created that you want to then, you know, pursue giving it to someone. And then just like the reason behind doing it and some ideas on like how to do it. Because you can give a gift card to just about anybody, but the gift card doesn't have a story. And your work and your creation and the reason for doing it does. So I just thought it would be kind of nice to give some pointers on putting together like either some sort of handmade gift packaging or a note card or something that helps either tell the story of why you're doing what you're doing and adding
Right.
that layer onto the gift giving itself. But I thought it was important to also note that you, again, versus like a gift card or something of a digital asset, when you give creativity to someone or that spark, it can open up a whole world of things. And I did have a story around this actually. But just from a broad standpoint, I want to hear Cynthia and Christy's thoughts on some of these touch points.
Well, I love that. You're right. You can give a gift card. You can give something that's easy. But, you know, all the gifts that are my favorite gifts that I've ever received have been handmade gifts, you know, and I still have, even when they're kind of busted, you know, like Lord have
Busted
mercy.
might be a bit of a strong word, but you know.
Furious. Man, this doll she made, I don't know what she was thinking about. It was so scary. I wanted a Barbie, and she made this doll out of muslin. Now, granted, I was probably 7 or 8, and that thing was as homely as the day is long. It was the ugliest you ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. I love my grandma, but this was ugly. And you know, at the time, I thought I didn't want to be rude. I was a polite kid. I was like, "Thank you," but man, it was, you know. But then I started to look at it, and I saw all the times where she was really making sure that the arms were sewn on good, like all those little stitches she did to sew the whole thing up, and the hair, and its little wonky eyes. You know, she tried so hard. And the longer I looked at it and looked at all the work, I imagine I was like, and she used scraps from other things to stuff it. So it had that sort of disturbing quality that looked like it had eaten other creatures because you could it was white, but you could see the other colors of what she'd stuffed it with. So, you know, I look back at that, I still have it somewhere. And that's like 40 some years ago. I mean, it wasn't a very big gift. And that's another thing. I'd say make something small. You don't want to make something that's like king size that someone has to like a huge nude bust of somebody. Or,
you know how many of those I've been given? Good grief. No,
yeah,
just kidding.
I've got like 3 of them of my friends.
You can use, I think, you know, things that are not too where like sometimes you get a gift, and I've been given many gifts, handmade gifts, and Azalea gives me gifts all the time. She hand makes me socks, and I know they take a long time. So to me, I'm really precious with them, and every time I put them on, I think of all the time she spent working on it, and it's so special. I mean, you can't, I mean, I have purchased socks. It's not the same thing. I mean, we know there is a vibration to something that someone has put time and energy into. And I feel like, and this is going to sound wacky, but I sell rings at my booth for markets. And this is the craziest thing. When somebody touches a ring, when there's somebody, more people will go to that same ring and lift it up and touch it and look at it. I don't know. They didn't, no one.
Not wacky. That's a thing.
They can
Yep, that's a
feel
thing.
somehow. And I don't know how that's possible, but like one, and then by the end of the day, that piece will have sold. And it's just a weird thing how, like, I had a skull ring, and it was kind of a massive skull ring. I was like,
energy, baby.
Who's going to
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there must be some sort of a odd transference of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goes
Like
strange.
our attention, the fact
Yeah.
that we're putting our attention onto something and really studying it, there's something to that because it's like,
Yeah.
not only is it our most valuable thing that we have, our attention, you can't, I mean, what
Yeah.
else, what else do we have that is
Yeah.
more?
Well,
I just
yeah.
had a little thought too, but Neela, were you going to tell a story? I didn't want to interrupt you if you were about to tell a story.
I mean, I can tell it after your musings if you
Either
want to
way, my
you go
my
first.
my musing was just about the other side of the gift giving thing, because for every person that you give a handmade gift to, there's a person that you try to and they don't like it. So one thing I would say is that remember that there's two different parts of giving a gift. There's the making of it, and then the anticipating of what gift fits for what person. So if you've made something handmade, make sure you give it to a person who already appreciates handmade, or you're going to have the disappointment of a gift that doesn't fit. And then you'll feel bad, they'll feel bad, and it's whatever. For that person, buy them candy or buy them whatever. And you can still be kind and give them things, but not everybody matches the gift. And I think that's one of the trickier parts of gift giving is we have to remember that gift giving is for us as well. And that's nothing wrong with that. But then when you recognize that, you kind of ask yourself, what am I hoping to happen from this? Am I trying to make somebody else feel better or feel appreciated or feel loved? And if so, what do they want? Or am I trying to make myself feel good about my generosity or whatever else? Both of which are great, but they're different. So that was just my little thought on that, is that when I was in Japan, one of the things I do is a lot of gift giving, but for many reasons, they tend to give very specialized food treats to each other. So everybody's little prefecture in town or whatever has a food that you can only get there. So when they come and bring you their Mount Fuji maple cookies that only come from the city at the base of Mount Fuji and give them to you, it is special. They've had to go out of their way to get it. That's usually not cheap. So you feel the love, but it's a food. You can either eat it yourself or gift it to somebody else. And so there's nobody like, oh, yay, clip-on earrings of owls, great. And somebody doesn't have to pretend to like it, and then everybody's feelings are hurt. So that was just my little thing in there is kind of like, just know that the people who appreciate you and your art should get the good stuff. Everybody else, candy.
And I could take that up a notch, because if it's a listicle thing, right? So like if you write down the person's name and then write down like 3 adjectives that describe them, I bet you could land on
nice.
a gift to like give to them that's either handmade or could be something that is uniquely purchased that's ready to experience. And my story was so it goes back into the actual gift of creativity. And so I've got a day job. Everyone knows this. I've come clean about it. But within I work as part of a component in our marketing team, and there's 12 of us. But the president of our little marketing team was in a place of life where she would take care of her kids, take care of her family, take care of work, and then just settle down for the day and watch endless reels of TikTok or Instagram on her phone. And she got, I guess she was like wasting hours, because that's what happens is you fall down a rabbit hole and then suddenly you're just like 2 hours in and forgot where you started or like where you wanted to end in the night, and probably don't get good rest because you've been staring at a screen for so long. So she reached out to me via message, and she was just like, I'm kind of tired of scrolling. I was looking on an online catalog of jewelry, and it really got me inspired to want to create some of this stuff, because it looks simple enough, because it was just strung stuff, but I don't know where to start. And I did actually a Galentine's event at work for those of us that live in Tulsa. Came up to the headquarters, and she lives in Minnesota with her family, so she wasn't able to come to it. There has been some talk about me doing some sort of a package kit that I can send out to coworkers that are not part of the city that I live in, that I could teach virtually, but that hasn't happened yet. So she was jealous that all of us got to experience the Nile experience, which is either scary or great. But
Right.
it's like, can you help me? I don't know where to start, and I don't know where to go. So this excited me, of course, because and I didn't make it about SilverSilk. I was just like, this is an activity that I could give as sort of a gateway into beading and creativity. So I hunted down some soft flex tutorials and some other tutorials that were on YouTube that kind of gave a very basic level explanation of where to start. I even made her a list on like a Word doc of like, here's how to crimp, here's how to string beads, here's what wires to use. And so I gave her links to all the products. Here's where you can buy some beads. And I listed some of our TGBE stores to go shop at. So I made a little like comprehensive doc for her. And this was exciting again to me because I didn't know where she was going to take it, but she was very thankful. But it was great because when we do our bi-weekly Wednesday meetings, we kind of share like a little highlight of the week of our personal things, and never really talk about SilverSilk or us this side of the world for me. But it was cool to hear that she had made her first bracelet.
Aw.
She was so excited. She was like, don't look too close at the crimping because it's a little rough. But she was so happy. And she was just like, I finally got off TikTok and Instagram to learn something new. And I've actually been beading with my kids. And I was just like, this is the gateway. This is like your big, rabbit hole now. So that was kind of an awesome little like thing that I could do for
that was a great gift because you gave her an opportunity for her own betterment. That's awesome.
But as you said earlier, you kind of have to know your audience, right? And so she was already asking me for this piece, this component that she was missing. And so
she knew it was going to land well because she had already opened herself up. Nice. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, for me, I know what my my girlfriends like it when I give them a little tin of beads, and that's my go-to. Is my lucky dip actually goes back to Tucson of like when I first started. I would separate out one of, like I'd separate out my strand between like 3 or 4 people, and I'd make little packs for them if they couldn't come to Tucson.
Oh yeah.
Send it to them, and then, it'd make me feel good because I was sharing the love of what I picked. And then later I'd recognize it and see it in earrings or something, and I'd be like, oh,
that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. But then that's that part of like matching up your impulse of giving with the right recipient. So it's like perfect. Both of you get the optimum out of it. Because we really do give because it makes us feel good too. That's allowed, totally allowed. So having it land well is double good, I think. That is awesome.
Oh,
I like that
feeling. I will freely, like that's a big dopamine rush is when you thing and you see them light up. I love that story. Azalea gave her cousin some yarn. Actually, that's one of the things is if she even senses that they are interested in knitting, then she's going to be like, well, I went ahead and took the liberty of getting this, and she'll have a little kit of yarn and needles and the pattern. And everybody,
that's awesome.
She's probably giving it to like 4 or 5 people. They're all knitters now.
Oh, that is so cool.
I know. So she actually
that's very cool. Way to go, Azalea.
And when you think about it, she's given me gifts before, but
pimp out that yarn.
But something about getting supplies. You know what? It's funny because my Aunt Rena gave me my first pack of white Sculpey.
Really?
And I'd never, it was a 1 box of Sculpey. I was probably 10, maybe even younger. And I was like, what's this? And you know what? I just messed with it. It turned out to be one of the best gifts because it was, at the time, I needed something, to do, something. And she just, and I think sometimes if you like you were saying, Neil, sometimes you got to know your audience.
Yeah, you sort of sense what this person needs. You
want it to land. So sometimes it's the materials that you give them the supplies, and sometimes it's the actual finished thing. Because sometimes if someone gives me a kit now, let's be for real, if I get a kit of yarn now, I'm going to give it to Azalea
Yeah.
because she has that time to put into that, you know?
Yeah.
If I get a kit of something small that I'm actively working on right now,
Hmm.
it's going to get fed right into the machine of what I'm working on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I've done that many times where I've like just shared my supplies and then put something just almost like a pack of goodies that, you know, if they don't know what they like, here are a few like watercolor pencils and a few of these things and see what happens. And sometimes it's good, you know, you never know what's going to happen. But I do tend to do where I'll either make a necklace or earrings or a pack of supplies and or like I did give a friend a bead loom with some
I
inexpensive.
was just
Yeah, so
thinking
that's
about that.
fun as a creative, giving away the supplies. Yeah.
Well, and it's hard. So it works into the part of the listing, right? It's just like, how do you determine, or when you do determine where your craft person that you're giving it to probably has some basic tools and things that they can start to work with, even if you give them a bucket full of things, right? Versus like someone that you kind of want to push the agenda of creativity toward, but maybe they don't really have
Right.
an investment or any tools or anything. And so being mindful about like basic tools or just something that you can give them to start them out in that journey. And it doesn't have to be a huge investment on your end. Perhaps it is just stuff that is in your stash that you've got duplicates of that you can give away. That you
Yeah.
can use. For example, you had mentioned a loom, Cynthia, and so you got to have that to start looming on, essentially, right? So like between that and also then giving fibers to someone, packaging it up together and being mindful of they don't have scissors. Maybe I should just throw this into
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
but yeah.
One time I found this awesome thing. They were a little set of tiny little pencils and like a tiny little pad, right? And I put them in these little Ziploc bags and carried them in my purse. And anytime I was somewhere where there were kids with nothing to do, you know, they're at a restaurant and then nobody had brought anything for the kids and they were whatever, I just, you know, make sure it was okay with the parents, but give them each the little notebook and little pencils, man. And that had I can't find them anymore. I got to look for some more, but that was just so much fun because kids are always looking for something to play with. And that was just such an easy little gift, you know, just give them some creativity.
My niece is a crafter. She will sit with her mom, and I've given her a ton of beads, and it didn't occur to me that stringing wire is probably not the way to go for a 4-year-old, but you know, I didn't have any stretchy cord on hand and I needed to get some. So
Right.
my list of things that I need to purchase next, but she loves beads. She loves beads and she loves like sciencey things and stuff that she can construct. And my
Yeah.
I was always buying like little kits and stuff, and she gets it from Target, you know, but it's easy, it's accessible stuff that's put together. But thinking about how even those kits that are manufactured are made, they really think of everything from instruction to execution. And
Yeah.
you know, so if you're gonna set up a kit for someone, like you
Yeah.
gotta start with the basics.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fun. I mean, there's so many opportunities, especially for us creative types, and there's so many people listening and replying and having suggestions and stuff, to kind of think through some different things and have just like a couple of little choices. And then as the occasion arises, it's like, oh, that person would use this, or I'm going to make something special for this person that's close to me, but there's that other person who just needs a nice day. I have a little heart that I made. I'll go give it to him or whatever. Making a few things up ahead of time and sort of having them with you for the occasion when it arises. That's kind of fun to do sometimes too.
I do like spontaneity.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just dropping a gift where it makes sense.
You know,
It's nice.
I am all the time. My pockets are full of the beads that I make, and sometimes the ones that I paint.
Yeah.
I leave them places. I don't know who's.
Oh, that's so great.
You just never.
I like that.
You know, somebody might need it. So, and I'll
Yeah.
tie a loop around it, and I'll hang them in a tree.
I
You know?
love that. That's so
Oh.
I'll
cool.
come back later, and it won't be there, so I know someone went down my secret path and found.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I think if we all did that a bit more often, those are those little glimmers that you can scatter in your life that other people intersect with. And it just increases that vibration of happiness and contentment and feeling like you're connected. I mean, man, all of us creatives can do that all the time if we wanted to. And I need to remember that and do that more often, because I think that is so awesome that you do that, Cynthia. That's so great.
It's all for me.
Yeah, that's all right too.
It's my own.
Absolutely. All right.
I will 100% say I just love to picture. My favorite is to picture kids finding it, because when I was a kid, I loved it when I would find
Oh, magic.
something good, like
Right?
on a little turtle
Heck yeah.
shell that still had the turtle inside it, but it was just a skeleton. And
Oh, yeah.
I kept it in a little box. I mean, it's somewhere in the house, but
Yeah.
it's like finding these weird little things that are so magical. It's like it's like
Yeah.
how is for
Yeah, totally. And honestly, any of us can do that if we're looking for something creative to do. Like you were talking about, Nile, about somebody coming home and then all they have the energy to do is scroll, scroll, scroll. If they already had on their desk a bowl full of polished, round rocks and their little tubs of paint, then they might just go, you know what? I could still maybe watch that, but I'm going to paint a few rocks while I'm at it, and then I'm just going to leave them around. It's like we could do these little things like that are fun, that add a bit more to our lives and get us out of those routines when we're mostly brain dead after work and stuff. Just those little small things. That would be really nice for all of us to kind of encourage each other to do more, huh?
One of the things that I like to do is I will get a friend or two and I'll say, let's go get coffee. Let's go to sit and go to a cafe, and I will bring my artist trading card set.
Oh, yeah.
They're 2
Yeah.
You can fit like 50 of them in a little container and a little watercolor. And I have some that are scratch board. I have some that, I mean, they're the box. It doesn't, I mean, this is the whole thing. I throw this in my handbag. I just looked down and saw it. And
that's awesome.
Is this thing here, and it's full of all different kinds of things. And I feel like, and then afterward, this is watercolor paper, all different kinds of scratch board. And we'll sit around, and I have enough supplies and pens and all kinds of things in here. There's even teeny watercolors in here. It all fits.
Oh, that's so cool.
We're all just sort of sitting around talking and laughing. And by the end, each person will have made 3 or 4 of these. And everybody is like, that was so nice. Thank you so much for bringing all the supplies. We didn't have to do anything. We just had to show up, hang out, and creating something for a minute. It's kind of satisfying. And
that's a great idea. I love that.
Doing their own thing. And, it's a real, I feel like it's a real connection, to your friends.
I love that. I'm just reading over here. So many people are saying that same thing. In fact, Ann Merger was the one who talked about the rock, how happy she get, if she finds a painted rock. And, Michelle was talking about birthday beads and that she gives out, and Wendy with a library and doing some beading groups. So it's like so many people are already doing these little creative connections. I love that. It's very inspiring for me to kind of do a bit more of that.
Yeah, I think that's part of the gift is,
the time.
A lot of meditation podcasts and ones on consciousness. And one of the things that they suggest that I hear over and over, and I've been hearing, is that you can give people the gift of, a smile, a compliment.
Yes.
Even just a thoughtful, you don't have to say anything. It's just thinking something. You're saying something of kindness. You're just aiming it, and that itself, I feel like, makes you a more generous, more kind, more patient person to continually think. If every person I run across, if I just think of, it'd be impossible to do it all the time. But if you catch yourself to just open up your heart to feeling, kind of tender moments, just to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you just had a soft spot for a minute to just be kind to each other, imagine.
And I think agree. Kind of goes back to self-care and self-love and filling your own cup first, and then you have to pour into someone else's. That energy is so infectious, and it's easy to spread if you have the ability to go after it and to do it and be that person that champions feeling good vibes and making sure everyone else feels okay for the day. They don't even have to feel great. They just have to feel you know, just like something lifted me up that I just needed. And
I think when people see someone else who is happy, that person doesn't have to do anything other than exist. And it makes other people happy. You know, so we don't even have to do anything. We just have to be ourselves and be in that helpful state, not helpful, happy state of mind, and just let that spread out there. And if we're creatives, then that creativity spreads out there. If we're kind, the kindness is there. If we are helpful, you know, whatever we already are, we just have to be that. And then it just spreads, which is really nice. And I think creatives get like a double dose of that because we have connection to this very special thing, this ability to create a thing that didn't exist. And that I think is much more magical than maybe we think about as often as we should. You know, the fact that any one of us listening and commenting and us, we could just any of us sit down right now and make a thing. I mean, not everybody can do that. We all have the capacity to it, but not everybody is in that place yet, but we are. And how wonderful is that, man? That is just great. I love that. So why not share it and give it and, you know, let other people see it and make them feel like they can do it too. I mean, it doesn't cost anything.
I did want to put up one comment that I think I could add some context around this, because if you put a smile on your face and it makes you feel better, that's sort of a yes and no, because you could be having a really crappy day and forcing yourself to smile is probably the last thing that you need to do, because it's just nice to be able to find a friend and air out some grievances. But I think being open and being that person to saying to someone that is having some attitude issues, or maybe you did something unkind to someone and you witnessed it, and just saying like, listen, like, what's going on? Because there's something deeper that, you know, that's bothering you, that's making you behave this way. So talk to me, like, what's going on? And just being open and being receptive and trying to practice empathy, because it's really hard to do that. But again, it's one of those things that I think it's a small gift that is not a tangible one. You're giving someone your time, and that is a very, very precious non-commodity thing, I think, that you can absolutely be there for someone.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, okay, so speaking, there are tangible gifts and there are non-tangible gifts, and I think we covered a lot of non-tangible gifts that we can give to someone. But I did want to kind of bring it back to our businesses, because we are independent artists and designers and owners of our stores. But I kind of wanted to talk through, like, if we were kind of, you know, in a real bead store or a real bead show, like what are some things within our own space that we can actually offer some tangible ideas to folks that might be seeking of, like, hey, the holiday seasons are coming up, Christy and Cynthia, like, I need to give a gift to such and such, and they like wearing stuff, and I don't even know where to start because all I've been doing is designing for myself all this time. So what do we do? I don't know if that's how it would be phrased, but you get the idea.
Well, I think that your idea of writing down attributes is good. Like, what could they use? You know what I mean? Like top 3 things right off the top of your head. And, you know, gift giving, people talk about that all the time. Some people are really hard to get gifts for, you know? And that, I mean, you know, there are some people that I'm easy to get a gift for. I'm very easy. I'm happy with a cool rock. But there are others who, you know, they want other things, you know, so maybe those are, you just have to really, you know, use your observational skills and figure out where to, you know, get that gift to. But if you're going to make something, I would say something small, something easy. And if you don't know them very well, say it's like your kid's teacher, go more general. You don't want to give them like a skull type.
I could take that a step further for you, because you specifically have a lot of pendants and a lot of like single pieces that would just throw on well to a leather cord or something. That I was hoping that you could show some stuff off, in other words. I don't know if you're prepared to do that.
Yeah, my stuff, I put beads on and pendants on cord is like I sell that and people buy it happily but it's easy enough for me to just throw it on a cord, and people will pay. I guess it's like $15 for me to do that when it's and the packaging, but it's easy enough to put whatever it is you're making. I know, Christy, you make pretty awesome pendants. They're
or creatures.
There's a good ornament.
I mean, I
in your
right
car.
back at you and double.
Yeah. We all make good things, and you consider what you can buy. I mean, the sky's the limit now. Everything's available, and now, I mean, they've got it where you can have an AI robot make the gift, download it, print it, and send it to you, and no human hands even touched it, and that feels exactly as exciting as it sounds. It's kind of.
It's so weird, isn't it?
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
And
I think there's a trend. I mean, we're going to get, as a nation and as a culture, we're going to get sick of that. And it's going to swing us back to interaction. I think that's the inevitability of where this is all leading. But one of the things that I was thinking, just as you were saying all this, is every one of us in the TGBE has some sort of product for sale. I saw this thing that somebody was doing that they got from somewhere else, so I feel fine in sharing it. But it would be a great little, anybody listening, this is a great little gift. What they had is they had a little card, and they had taken a little piece of thread, like sewing thread, and put a pearl on it and sort of connected it to the card. And the text was basically, you just tie this on you as a bracelet or a necklace and make a wish until it breaks. And when it breaks and you lose it, then your wish will come true. But I thought, what a cool thing for anybody in the TGBE, whoever your favorites are. You buy a little teeny pendant from you, or a pearl from me, or a little check bead from, Abs or whoever. And that what a nice little gift that would be for anybody, of wearing that as a very breakable transient thing. And that it'll set itself free into the world for someone else, but your wish will come true. Something funny like that. I thought, well, that's a kind of neat for a kit or a gift or something, and it would be a way to support all of your favorite online sellers. Something like that would be neat.
Okay, I love this comment because it opens up a whole nother discussion point of Wendy is saying, I feel like the men in my life are harder. They either buy what they want or need, and then they don't talk about it. So kind of what I was thinking is just like, we have lots of folks that will wear jewelry, but usually men are the harder people to either get into it or just generally shop for, unless you just really know their hobbies and stuff. I personally am first of all, I'm terrible at gift giving. So I'm trying to take all this advice myself and figure out what I need to do moving forward. But folks they don't know what to buy for me. Because then and if it's not either in a crafty field, or if it's nothing that I can use, then I just give a broad thanks, but I'm not really thinking about it. And so what is some, outside of the list making and adjectives, there's got to be a nut that we can crack with, as far as trying to figure out a stoic reception of something,
Oh, I don't like the stoic reception.
I know, because it's hard, because you put your soul into it and then you don't get the reaction that you were hoping for.
Right. Well, this doesn't help whatsoever, but it's an anecdote that goes along with what you're saying. My daughter has, since she was probably 14 or 15, really been difficult to buy gifts for, like Christmas and whatever, because she doesn't like trying to pretend she likes something. But then she's very sad if somebody gives her a thing that she can't pretend that she likes, because she's no good at that. So she feels bad. We feel bad. So she started doing a wish list. And at first, she'd have all of her links to Amazon and other places. That was her wish list. And at first I was really against that, because I want to surprise you. But what I realized is, when she went in and gave me a list of all the things she liked, of every price point and all over the place, and at first it felt very impersonal, but it's like she's showing me what it is she likes. So later on, I might be able to go, ooh, she saw this and this and this. I bet she would like this also. Occasionally I do that. But it's a thing where by the time she's finished making her list, she's forgotten what's on the list. So it's a surprise anyway. But all of those things she's vetted. And I like, for somebody close to you that you have to give gifts for, that's hard. that might be kind of a neat way of doing it. But if it is somebody, this was the corollary to that. If you didn't want to go that far because you had other people that wasn't appropriate for, then you could do, now you're going to have to picture somebody from the 60s in the cigarette, little tray of cigarettes with the little hat and going around in a nightclub selling all the little cigarettes and stuff. But you do that with your art, and you make your little tray of all the different things you've made, and you go, which one would you like? Please pick out your favorite. And then you have a bunch of choices for them. So then they feel like, oh, well, this would be good. And so then you feel happy, they feel happy, they don't feel cornered, you've given them some choices, blah, blah, blah. That is a thought anyway, as well, from somebody that's a little bit more tricky. Give them some choices so there's an option. Anyway, those are my two thoughts of the spur of the moment.
Pretty smart. That
is so smart.
I like that. Because then it's like you have, and I feel like I've done that with, I have like these cigar boxes that I'll take.
Yeah.
Like you've seen my cigar boxes. They're not even on the table. Most of it is not it's my personal stuff, right? And only my friends will see this box.
Yeah. And when you go to people, you can have interesting rocks in it, as well as things you've made. And, so that if somebody's like, well, I don't want any of those things, but I like that citrine crystal. All right, I'll do that. It's kind of a neat little fun, because then there's more to the interaction. You're watching them and you're talking about stuff, and there's stories behind things. I don't know. I haven't done that yet, but I've already started it for when I see my kids next. We're going to play that little game, but I don't know where the idea came from. I'm sure I didn't think of it, but I just think it might be kind of a neat thing for all of us to kind of think about a little bit to do.
This is
pretty smart. Usually when I show that box, though, I don't lead with, you can pick one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not a real treasure box.
I lead with that. I'm like, you want to see what I'm working on secret?
And
yes. And if I see really looking at something, then I'll be like, all right, that one's for
you. So that's very smart. Yeah.
But I don't lead with, you can pick whatever you want from this.
No, it'd have to be somebody you vetted that you knew, because some people, they'd be picking way too many of the good things.
Well, we might not at friend level either,
Right. So you get a mediocre box. Don't show them the good box. This is the mediocre box.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what friend level are we here?
What friend level are you? Let me check my boxes. Okay, casual acquaintance. Here you can look at this box. Blood relative. Okay, you get this box.
That's pretty good.
Well, okay, it goes back to a Venn diagram. So let's just say you fill your own cup. So you are in the center of this diagram, and then outside of that is where your list begins, and your priorities kind of shift out from there.
right, for sure. But I'll let you know how it goes. But in my head, it works great.
Kathy brought up an interesting question. Why is that designs do so little in men's style? And I don't know. I'm speaking from the top of my mind, which is not always the best place to start with. But my assumption is that it has to do with the audience that you are in. And so, for example, the TGBE group, there is an overabundance of wanting more feminine or neutral type of designs and leaning less catered toward men. And I think it ultimately comes down to just commerce in general. There's a lot more buyers that are going to be of a certain demographic that doesn't lean toward men. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of men jewelry, but it's not in my ecosphere. And so if I step back though and look at some of the catalogs and some of the clothing companies, even some of the local shops in my town, in my city, there are stores that gear jewelry and products and stuff specifically to men. And so it really is just whatever audience that I don't know if I'm saying this correctly or not, but it's kind of the ecosystem that you create for yourself in a creative standpoint. And it's just where we are here, but it doesn't mean it exists. It doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah. I think and they want, if I gave my dad any kind of jewelry, he would have just stared at my face with such confusion. He would not understand at all. But if I had used those powers of jewelry making on a fishing lure, because you know what? You actually use a lot of the same techniques.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Fiddling around with a bunch of stuff. If I had given him a lure, he would have been like, no, this is a gift.
Comes back down to that list, knowing your audience and who you're gifting.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Well, that's like a thing I've been asking myself a lot these days in many areas, but that's what we're just touching on is, what do you hope to get out of this? Like, I ask myself that a lot. Like, when I'm talking to somebody, having a conversation, what am I hoping to get out of it? And that changes how I may talk to somebody, or gift giving. What am I hoping to get out of that? It kind of helps you like define your parameters and maybe change some of the things you would do. Like you said, do I want my dad or whoever to be happy with my gift, or do I want him to appreciate me, or do I want just to, surprise somebody? It's like, there's so many things we could get out, and identifying what we want out of the whatever is a helpful place to start as part of that filling your own cup first. Figure out what your emotional response is that you hope for, then whether or not that's even reasonable to expect. So then you're kind of like taking care of yourself first before you even go into the situation, and
kind of like setting
giving like anything else. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting topic there, I think. Is there anything outside of the topic of discussions that I feel like we kind of glazed over these particular things, but
yeah, we did good.
With the flow, no big deal. All I can say is check out some of our stores to see perhaps if you find and make your list of things, and you do find a couple people on there that would be like, I'm kind of thinking like, if I just string this on some leather and call it good, and this is going to be someone for Christmas. Like Cynthia's got the best pendants that I could think of. Christy's got some odd creatures and or pendants actually that you made one today fantastically out of epoxy clay that, would either make a great centerpiece, or your creatures in general, Christy, it would to me replace like having a little elf on the shelf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little weirdo on the shelf. Exactly.
A little weirdo on the shelf.
Your cord, Nile, looks good with my pendants. So,
Yeah, you've got the best kits, Nile. They are just nice.
So
yeah.
That's well under 25. And
yeah.
If you have yours are in 3 foot, it's right, 3 foot, right?
3 foot links, and you
can
have 2 18-inch necklaces out of it. Or
I was about to say, so from that length, you could get 2 necklaces easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you made it where they're going over the head.
Yeah.
Is there like a uptick in purse charms or anything that's going on? Because I feel like,
oh my gosh, at least in Asheville, it is gals and dudes doing this thing with almost like not a lanyard, but I even started to do it on my bag, because people do purse charms. I'll add them to my Zoe. Can you pass my bag and I'll show it? Everybody around here, men and women, I see it all the time with folks with their purse charms. Of course, my bag is like bulging out, not even zipped.
You were using things in it. It's fine.
And my friend Joanne made this bag.
That's so cool.
Cute. Oh my God.
I put a pom-pom on the zipper pull, and I just have it tied on. And this is some fun yarn. It's really plush and soft.
That's really fun.
I love
And then I have a little dragon. He's one of my favorite designs. So
this is what I think of when I think of your beads and stuff. It is beyond just pendants and jewelry. Like, this is such a cool thing to have.
My friend
I love that.
This 20 some years ago. Isn't that so cute? He's got a little
tail. That's so awesome.
It's hanging down by his tail. So that's what my
I think we all should just put dangly things on everything.
On everything.
Like everywhere that something can dangle. Let's just all do that now. Let's make that the trend now. Just dangle it off of your shoulders, your clothing, your purses, your kitchen tableware, all of the stuff. Let's just dangle everything.
Body
parts. I love it.
Like if you
love
it. Wrist or ears or whatever, like,
Right? Yeah. Parts of our car, our chairs at work, just everywhere that something can dangle. Right? Why not? That would be, I'm going to start that tomorrow. I'm going to start making dangling things and just putting them everywhere. I'll report back. All right.
But I could see
The weirder, the better.
be durable for that. I feel like polymer clay lends itself well to something that is going to be like
Yeah.
rough handle
Yeah.
and be okay.
It's
Oh
nice
gosh, yeah.
too. That's the good part about polymer or epoxy putty.
And
If it was
Yeah.
an epoxy putty, that's gonna last till like the next. It's so durable.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I
There'll
don't
be
know.
currency in the apocalypse, so just know it and do it. Yeah.
Have you thought about making
I'll
a
trade you
pumpkin-
one Cynthia salamander for that egg.
I didn't
Perfect.
I love that. Well, okay, we're approaching a full hour of talking about gifts and kindness and what it is to like actually feel good about it and setting expectations. But I wanted to like kind of give a small discussion with you guys briefly that like our homework, because I feel like after this presentation there should be some sort of point of what can I take with me that I learned from this
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
can I do in practice. So I put together some quick bullet points of like some ideas perhaps that folks can walk away with. And for me, I think it'd be kind of an interesting activity to like choose 2 people outside of your close circle and someone who brightens your daily routine that stays quiet. That's not really present or doesn't interact too much with your world, but they make your world a little bit better. So kind of what
Yeah.
I thought about is I used to have an older postman that was there for about 8 years of the 10 that I've been living at my house. And then there was a new one that's now working for almost 2 years now. They do a lot. They put up with a lot. They do a lot and they walk a lot. But everything runs so smoothly that it's nice to just get my packages on time. It's nice to see
Yeah.
the post mail come in and everything. And I don't even know how much they must put up with from a corporate standpoint, but I just thought, it is a guy. And so like, I got to make a list of adjectives of what I have had small interactions with and what I get from it. But it'd be kind of nice to give him a gift and just say, thank you for providing the service that we all need and we take for granted. And
I
thank
love
you
that.
for you, more importantly. But this is a small ripple of kindness that I think would go a long way.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I love that. That is so awesome.
It's so thoughtful. Nile, I always tell Azalea every time your name comes up, I say the same thing. Azalea, what is it that I say?
This should be
Go ahead
interesting.
and say it.
Nile is a prince.
Oh my God.
Aww.
And every time,
Yeah.
prince. It's a prince among men. Look
It's
how
cute.
kind
Yeah.
he came up with all this stuff. So
He
nice.
did. He did great. All of these things.
It's just, I think we all think that, and I think we've catered such an amazing group within our own companies that we've worked together as, but also the community.
We
that
do
we're
rock pretty
serving.
hard. That's true. Yeah.
And we've sent some people away that were just not being kind. Like we've done our duty to like make sure that we just have a good solid group. So all I did was just boil that into words and
Yeah.
try and make it as articulate and as self-aware as we could.
He said in a princely manner.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth, Christy.
Goodness, y'all are too much. Y'all
You're
are
just awesome, Nile.
happy to be part of the family here, but I don't know. I just thought we would go around the room and maybe like kind of conjure up some other people that might enjoy a gift. Perhaps the teacher. Like I'm just gonna throw out some professions. But what do you guys think?
For sure.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
I think anybody that does a nice service for you that, you might not, like the guys that get our bins, they got a lot to put up with, especially with how much cat litter I load up. And it's so heavy.
All those discarded cat roughs.
That thing up there, and I've got a steep driveway, and I just think, man, they got to be like, after they leave, they got to be like, man, what
So great.
They are truly taken for granted.
Yeah.
For the service that they do.
Yeah.
That needs a get that for sure.
Okay, well, this is a little that has nothing to do with that, but it just popped in my head. and I feel like telling you, but I'm going to pretend that it's on topic. Does that sound all right?
Yes.
So I was visiting my son and grandsons, and we just this past week, and we went to a pumpkin patch thing, right? And so we're there, and there's all these kids, and they've got these corn mazes, and they've got these things that kids can climb. And you know how it gets a little overwhelming for young children. So there was a single dad there. At least I'm assuming he had that look, and he had this little melting down toddler. So she was probably 2, 3. She wanted to continue to play, and it wasn't time, and there was a lot of crying. And I could sense that. How parents are sometimes feeling very uncomfortable, hoping that everybody else won't think they're a bad parent. It's just like, hey, it's 2-year-old, they overwhelm. So I wanted to sort of put him at ease, like everything's okay, but you have to be careful too, because whatever. So I kind of said some little nicety or whatever, and the little girl stops a minute to look at me, and then goes back to crying. So she was just, feeling it out, which we do. But I had picked this little pumpkin tendril. So it was this tiny little wiggly thing, and I picked it because I thought it was really pretty, and I was carrying it around because I wanted to keep it. And I thought, redirect. I know this trick. So I kind of looked at the little girl, and I said, hey, do you want to look at this? So then she stopped crying because this weirdo was talking to her and holding a weird stick. And so I let her hold this tendril, and she looked at it and like, oh, I said, if you want, you can keep it. I was going to keep it, but you could if you like. And she just like stopped crying and played with that. And then I just kind of looked at the dad and I said, hey, you're doing a good job. Don't worry. Everything's good. And then they did their thing. But I felt really good about myself. I felt momentary sadness because it was a really great tendril and I wanted it. But I also felt good because it was this little gift that helped this little kid transition from I don't get to keep playing to, something, and gave the dad a little bit of space of like, hey, don't worry. Kids cry. It's no big deal. So for me, I kind of use that as my blueprint of just being aware if somebody might be either just need a little bit of kindness or struggling, or do I have something clever on my person to give to somebody if they needed a distraction? So that's kind of what I think about when you're saying that is everybody needs a gift. Just sometimes people need it more noisily than others, and if we happen to be in the neighborhood, just carry a pocket full of weird things and just give them to people. Apparently it works. I'm just saying that, buy a bunch of weird stuff from some Cynthia. She's got a lot of great weird stuff. Look for strange things and then just hand them out randomly. And you can't go wrong. I see no problem with that at all.
That's like an everyday Halloween of random objects. Like less tricks, but more treating.
And honestly, if I'm being honest, I really am missing that little tendril, but I still feel good about myself.
You do, and you know what? You help someone else out at the end of the day, and you stop the tantrum from happening in real life. And you probably made that dad's life a lot better just from that one experience.
Well, I was just thinking about both of you, what you were saying there, Cynthia, talking about knowing the effort somebody's going to retrieve your used cat litter or whatever. There's like so many people just in that we notice them, and just that little extra recognition that we're noticing them is great, right?
Yeah, that's so smart.
Always helps. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So good. I am so privileged to be in such a good group of kind souls.
I hear.
And nobody in the group is, you know how you'll be in a group and there's always one person you're like, man, I wish they'd act right. But there's nobody in our why don't they get it together? Or wait, is that me? Am I the one that
I don't know.
No, it is a privilege to be in this group. And I think that every time we have one of these events and I'm reading all the comments as you guys are while we're talking and just seeing like all of this wonderful folks whose names come up each time we do one of these that are there to the very end, enjoying this with us, saying nice things, being our pals. I mean, what a great thing, right? I love that. If I had enough tendrils for all of you, I would give it to everyone.
I want a tendril.
Azalea wants to
put me on the list.
It was so cool, you guys. It was the best one ever. And that little kid probably dropped it, but still, I don't regret it.
We don't know that for sure. So you can keep telling yourself she took it home and she.
You know what? When she's an 80-year-old woman and she opens up her little cigar box of treasures, she'll be like, I really needed this tendril and this weird lady. See?
Sometimes acts of kindness at a young age, we remember those things.
Yeah.
You get to a
I
later
think you
life.
remember more now when you're an adult than
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
And you realize, like, that person was random, but they did this for me, and I have resources now to do that to someone else. So I'm going to go do that.
Yeah.
And,
Kindness
it's a ripple.
is always good. Kindness always helps, doesn't it?
Does.
Just being kind and remembering we're all toddlers, just in different sized bodies. And we all have our meltdowns, and we all need somebody to be kind to us and just let us cry some days, just be kind to each other. We don't know what each person's going through, So that's why I love we can do these things. We all get together. We say some wonderful things. Like Neela, you put together such wonderful things. We have cute kittens. We've got wacky friends. It's just a good thing. It's a good thing. I like it.
It's been a great thing. But the message boils down to is just spreading kindness like bacteria and just making sure that kindness becomes the new pandemic.
Yeah. I like that. Oh, I like that. Yes, I like that.
Can we make kindness the new pandemic?
Right. Contagious kindness. I like that. Yeah.
We'll just make it kindness. Oh, Marty is being very, very persistent.
He's just so fancy.
He really wants one of these cat chocolates that I've been promising him. So
Yeah. What a good way to wrap everything up with a very lovely cat and his cat chocolate.
Yes.
If that's not a metaphor for everything, I don't know what is.
Watch how he'll do. Watch how he'll do. He'll get on his hind legs. Look at this. You even believe
Oh,
this?
that's so awesome.
Gosh, persistent.
He's like a
Way
little.
to go, Marty. Good job, you.
Now
It's like I'm getting out of here before she takes it away.
Yeah, he's got to go and growl.
He said we
over it.
worked too much today. That's what he
He's
said.
like, we worked hard. The tax is high.
And that brings us to a great point of thank you guys tremendously for this endless support and for being really what am I trying to say here? Diehard fans of TGBE, and for showing up for all the shows that we've put on for the last 5 years. And we've got so many more years and plans ahead of us. You guys are rock stars, Christy and Cynthia. Thank you so much for joining in today. This has been great. I love all of you guys out there, and I love our little group, and I can't wait to see what we do in the future.
Yeah. Thanks. What a good way to wrap all this up.
Indeed. Okay. Well,
until the next one in January.
Released, soon. I'll do a little post messaging after this and get our next calendar up.
Perfect. I know it's in January, mid-January.
So. Oh, do I need to? I guess I should mention our giveaway one last time. If you go to the Great Bead Extravaganza.com and scroll down, you'll see a form. We're giving away 10. Is that 10? Right? 10 $50 gift cards.
10 winners. Yeah.
10 winners.
If I am the person who gives it to you, you're going to get $50 worth of tendrils.
Oh, I'm going to sign up for that immediately. Immediately. So you guys on that, thegreatbeadextravaganza.com. But otherwise, thanks so much for joining in. It's been such a short weekend, in my opinion. I would love to see even more presentations happen that are longer and more beady. But alas, we must come to an end at some point. So
we do have the coming up, right? In November.
Oh, yes, yes.
Ooh, we do have a very fun project coming up in
That's
November.
right.
That will be a good one.
It will be. I'm so excited about that. I don't know if we released details on any of that yet?
I thought it was on, I don't remember what I saw it on, but I know that was happening in November, mid-November.
I think we'll have details formally released.
Things will come.
Things will come, and we will have another event coming to you from TGBE in November. So stay tuned. Love all of you guys. Enjoy the evening. Thanks again for joining in. Mwah.